Love Across Continents. Rachel and Tarimo's Valentine Surprise. Under the golden haze of a Tanzanian sunset, where the air smelled of earth and jasmine, Tarimo Mwal adjusted his glasses and squinted at the dusty road leading to his village. The 24-year-old teacher had just finished his day at the local school, where he taught English and math to wide-eyed children who dreamed of cities and stars. His heart, however, was thousands of miles away, tethered to a girl with fiery auburn hair and a laugh that felt like sunlight. Rachel Pembroke hadn't forgotten the way Tarimo's voice softened when he'd told her stories of his homeland 6 months ago. They'd met in a rain-soaked London cafe, where Tarimo was attending a conference on rural education. Rachel, the spirited heiress to a publishing fortune, had accidentally spilled her latte on his notes. What began as flustered apologies turned into hours of conversation about his village near Arusha, her volunteer work in Kenya, and their shared love for Pablo Neruda's poetry. "You'd thrive in Tanzania, Rafiki Yangu," he'd said, using the Swahili word for friend with a playful grin. "But I suppose your world is bigger." Rachel's world was big. Private jets, galas, ski trips to Chamonix, but it had never felt complete. So, on a frosty January morning, she'd hatched a plan. February 13th, Arusha, Tanzania. The Land Rover rattled along the dirt path as Rachel clutched her backpack, her freckled cheeks flushed from the heat. She'd traded her cashmere sweaters for a sunflower yellow sundress and woven bracelets from a Maasai market. Her driver, Joseph, chuckled. "First time in the bush, Memsahabi?" "Surprising someone special," she replied, grinning. When the car halted at the village's edge, children sprinted toward her, giggling at her clumsy Swahili greetings. Tarimo's younger sister, Amina, spotted her first. "Dada, Rachel!" she squealed, sprinting to alert her brother. Tarimo was repairing a leaky classroom roof when Amina tugged his sleeve. "There's a Mzungu girl here asking for you." He frowned. Mzung, foreigner. Few tourists visited this time of year, but as he rounded the corner of the chalk-dusted schoolhouse, his breath caught. Rachel stood beneath an acacia tree, her hair a riot of curls, holding a dog-eared copy of Neruda's love poems. "Surprise," she said softly. "You once told me your students needed books. I brought a few, and myself." Tarimo's laugh was disbelieving, warm. "Rachel, you came?" "Valentine's is tomorrow," she shrugged, suddenly shy. "I wanted to see where your stars shine brightest." That evening, they sat on a frayed blanket outside Tarimo's brick-and-clay home, sharing a pot of spiced chai. The village buzzed with curiosity, neighbors, coincidentally, strolling by to glimpse the girl who'd crossed oceans. "You're mad, Rachel Pembroke," Tarimo said, shaking his head. "What does a man like me have to offer you?" She took his calloused hand, tracing the lines. "You taught me that home isn't a place. It's this, the way you care, the way you see people." He hesitated, then pulled a small wooden carving from his pocket, a giraffe, its neck curved gracefully. "I've had this for months, was too shy to mail it." Rachel's eyes glistened. "It's perfect." February 14th. At dawn, Tarimo led her to the rim of Ngorongoro crater, where the savanna stretched endlessly. As the sun painted the sky in pinks and oranges, he knelt, pressing his forehead to hers, a local gesture of deep affection. "Nakupenda sana, Rachel," he whispered. "I love you very much." She kissed him, soft and lingering, as zebras grazed in the distance. "Happy Valentine's, Tarimo." That night, the village threw an ugali feast. Rachel danced barefoot to bongo flava beats, Tarimo twirling her as children clapped and elders cheered. No titles, no borders, just two hearts synced to the same wild beauty. Rachel returned to London a week later, but her suitcases stayed unpacked. By June, she'd sold her penthouse to fund a library in Tarimo's village, and when skeptics asked, "Why him? Why there?" she'd smile. "Love isn't about where you're from, it's about who you become together." Under Tanzanian stars, Tarimo would add, "And sometimes, mpenzi wangu, It's about giraffes and spilled coffee.